Arsenal star rejects move to Italy. Maybe. Napoli remain interested in Gabriel Jesus, but are now considering Chelsea striker Marc Guiu as the transfer window enters its final stages. Gabriel Jesus has reportedly rejected the prospect of joining Napoli, despite the Italian club identifying the Arsenal striker as their leading attacking target for the final week of the transfer window. Metro report that Napoli had made Jesus their first choice, but have been forced to consider alternatives, because the 29-year-old is apparently not interested in moving to Italy. Arsenal are said to be willing to sell the Brazilian for £20 million. That has brought Marc Guiu into Napoli's thinking. The Chelsea striker, who joined the London club from Barcelona for £5 million in 2024, spent part of last season on loan at Sunderland before being recalled after 26 days, and is now described as surplus to requirements. There is, however, a significant difference between the reports in England and Italy. Corriere dello Sport maintained that Jesus remains Napoli's principal target as the transfer window enters its final week, rather than presenting their interest as having ended because of the player's position. The Italian newspaper says Napoli's ability to strengthen their attack is tied closely to departures, with Cyril Gange, Walid Khedira, Jesper Lindstrom and Jens Kajust among the players whose situations still have to be resolved. Jesus nevertheless remains central to their plans. Corriere dello Sport report that his time with Arsenal is effectively at an end, as we all know, and that Napoli are assessing a possible move with 1 year remaining on his contract. His age and salary are also factors. Jesus is 29, and the Italian report puts his required wages at €6 million, adding another consideration for sporting director Giovanni Manna as Napoli work through the final days of the market, even though that would still represent a sizable salary drop for the Brazilian. Napoli are also examining alternatives. Amin Gouiri, the 26-year-old Marseille forward, who also reportedly interests Tottenham Hotspur, is one possibility, while Guiu is another. The 20-year-old Chelsea striker is valued at about €15 million and would offer Napoli a younger option. Napoli have made inquiries for 2 Premier League strikers as alternatives to Arsenal's Gabriel Jesus. Napoli are on the market to bolster their attacking options before the summer transfer window closes, with the priority being a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. The former Manchester United, Chelsea and Inter Milan striker sealed a £5.1 million move to Fenerbahce last week, leaving a void for new manager Massimiliano Allegri to fill at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. Jesus has been strongly linked with the move to Napoli, and Standard Sport understands that Arsenal are open to selling the Brazilian and would want up to £20 million. Mikel Arteta appeared to drop a major hint regarding Jesus' future by leaving him out of the matchday squad for the Community Shield win over Manchester City, though insisted it was a technical decision. I've been trying to persuade the Premier League and the clubs to be able to extend the number of players that we can have, especially the outfield players in the squads, because we play more and more games, and the load is unreal. And not giving the chance to those players to be able to be here to participate, because maybe it demands the qualities of one of those players, and we don't have them available, the Spaniard said. It's just a shame, so it's the most difficult part of the job, but there's nothing to do with that. It's just a fact that we can bring 18 outfield players, and we believe that for today's game, these were the options that we needed, especially with the physical condition of certain players. However, while it was reported that Napoli would step up their pursuit of the Arsenal No-9 once Lukaku had been sold, that has not yet been the case. In fact, the Italian club are now actively exploring the market, with Gianluca Di Marzio reporting interest in Man United's Joshua Zirkzee and Chelsea forward Nicholas Jackson. The former hasn't quite settled at Old Trafford following his move from Bologna in July 2024, while Standard Sport have reported that the Blues would be willing to sanction the sale of Jackson for the right price.